Good start.
No.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunnyside City Council regular meeting for today, Monday, October 27, 2025. For the record, all members of council are present with Councilor Hart remote on Zoom. All members of staff are present with the exception of Fire Chief Holbrook, who is excused. Council, we have had to add to the agenda, and there's two things that were added. They should be added on the agendas that you received. The first is item B, the ad valorem. That needed to be discussed tonight. And also item G, the question on the traveler's insurance settlement. Is there any objection to those two items being added? Is there any other item that needs to be added to the agenda tonight? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah. I noticed that the council request status report is also missing.
Okay, that is correct. And we will put that right after item A, mayor's appointments. Make that the new item B. Unless there is objection to that being added tonight. Okay, hearing no objection.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Deputy Mayor. I heard a second, but I don't see who. It's Councilor Ripley. Okay, we got a motion by Deputy Mayor, second by Councilor Ripley to approve the agenda as amended. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hart.
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez.
Yes.
Councilor Frausto.
Yes.
Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Agenda is amended. Next item on our agenda is the invocation. I'd like to ask that you please stand for the invocation and remain standing afterwards for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us here in service to our community. Grant us wisdom to make decisions that honor truth, fairness, and compassion. Help us to listen with open minds and speak with respect, even when we disagree. May our actions tonight reflect integrity, unity, and care for every person who calls this city home. Bless those who serve, those who protect, and those who labor for the good of all. Guide us in peace, and may everything we do bring light and hope to our community. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, next item on the agenda is our public comments. And as soon as I get the sign-up sheet, we'll get started with that. All right, would like to remind speakers to address their comments to the chair, not to individual council members and not to members of the audience. Please state your name and city of residence. And the first name on my list is Jim Stevens.
Jim Stevens, Sunnyside, Washington. I just wanted to bring up we have a really great community here. As I spoke last time, kind of the same tone. And we need to work as hard as we can to stay united across our country. There's incredible efforts being made to divide our country. It's concerted. It's been going on for decades, and it's now culminated into an alarming situation. And we're having it here in Sunnyside as well. It's going to hit small communities. It used to be just Portland, Seattle, Chicago, places like that. But it's going to start to hit places like Sunnyside as well. And as I mentioned last time, one of the divisive things that we hear in our community is this issue of racism. And I don't agree with that. I don't like it. Somebody got up and said something that, well, you're not a person of color. Well, I'm a person of color. And my color is red, white, and blue. And I've got a whole lot of people in this community that stand on that side of the flag. There's people, men, women that have died and fought and given their lives and everything else to make that happen. And I see people that in this, they've been in this council room that didn't acknowledge the flag. I really have an exception for that. I have an exception for NFL football for the same reason. An exception for professional baseball for some of the things that they've done. They won't stand up for it. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to unite. United we stand. That is not a casual thing. That is why we're here today. That's why we're able to be here. A few settlers went out and met an entire professional army at Lexington Bridge, gave their lives, everything they had. They had 14-year-old kids running the farm while they were out at Lexington Bridge. Well, this is our Lexington Bridge. We all need to come together. And skin tone doesn't make one damn bit of difference. It's about what you are here. And I think it's time that we all unite, stand up for it, stand up for the flag, and stand up for, we got whole generations they're not going to appreciate and or know or be able to embellish the things that we are today and the things we've had in our lives, the things, quite frankly, we've been given. And now we have to stand up for it. Thanks. Appreciate what you all are doing too.
Thank you, sir. All right, next on my list is Juan Isiordia.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Juan Isiordia. I'm also the owner of Johnny's Quality Exteriors. I'm here to talk about the two parcels that I have here in Sunnyside that I've been trying to build since 2011. That's when I try to pull permits now through previous building inspectors or whatever. Things has gone and escalated from one thing to another. We couldn't supply water to those lots there, mostly through safety concerns, according to the fire marshal. There's a 4-inch line going around that property, so it doesn't allow me to hook up to those properties. Last time I went and I got from the city manager also a paper which allowed me to do wells inside city limits. I went to get permits. I went to get through all the hoops. I was stopped on that. On 2017, I tried again to do that. And when I tried to pull the permit, I went in there, but this time they wouldn't let me build because the lot's so small. It only allows for a certain amount of home that I couldn't build because they gave me a letter saying that I could build on that property, but I would need to go up and build a garage on the bottom. So I couldn't do nothing about that. Mr. Mike Shuttleworth at the end did not let me do anything on that as well. And with the well, so I don't want to go ahead and, it's an R2, so I don't want to do duplexes. I want to do nice little homes. I am the contractor that is building those beautiful homes right in the side of the freeway in Granger if you're coming from Zilla. So I do beautiful homes, and I also done great developments here in Granger. And I want to continue that. Now, lately, I went over to Mr. Mike Gonzalez, and I also got a paper from him. I took in my paperwork from Jamie Aileen before giving me permission to go ahead and get a well. I showed him that I got all the permits from the health district to go ahead and do that. And I turned in the paperwork. I talked to Mr. Bridges. Mr. Bridges was great, saying that, it's been great. I know he's been really busy, so we plan to meet on that. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from Mr. Corey Taylor and Mr. Hector Mejia, telling me that they were going to go ahead and force me to put a 4-inch line to go into those lots. One of the things that I mentioned to that is that Fire Marshal went out there and said that for safety reasons, I couldn't hook up to the city. One of the things that when they called me on there, and I seen it sort of as a bully tactic, telling me that we are going to require you to do that, to run it across all 7 lots. I don't agree with that, to go ahead and do that. I have the letter that I could go ahead and do wells. I was also mentioning to Hector that Hector said that he went and looked at the ordinances for the city of Sunnyside. I reviewed them a little bit as well. So during that process, he says that he found an ordinance that says that I'm not allowed, that he believes that I'm not allowed to do a well inside the city of Sunnyside. Right away, in front of Mr. Corey's on the phone, I said, Hector, I am making a public records request for that.
Your time is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Okay, thank you for that.
I'd like to let him finish.
Okay.
No
The
objection.
the consensus that you may continue, sir, so.
Thank you
Continue.
very much. I told him that I needed to make a public records request of that ordinance to please send it to me And I've been dealing with Mr. Corey since Grandview. He knows what kind of homes I built, and I know he's a very honest person. I have not gotten the public records request at that ordinance. Today, I went into Mr. Hector Mejia and I reminded him again, please, I need that ordinance so I could review it. And I have not gotten it. I'm waiting for a meeting to get together with them so that I could build. I already turned my permit in and I have also paid my review fee. I've been waiting for my permit since June 3rd. If we look back into businesses since 2011, that is 14 years that the city has missed out on me paying taxes, which goes into the general fund. I'm also was a councilman for Granger for 8 years, so I know the way the money is distributed. The mistake that I made was going over and telling them, hey, you know what? Here's what I plan to do. I plan to go that in there, and if I'm allowed to put water, that will benefit the city because the city, that house will pay water to the city for the existence of the home. And I will donate, and I stand here and I tell you that I will donate what I'm gonna pay to the well. And it's $11,000 that I would donate to the city if the city runs that water. But there's no way that I'm gonna run the water and then come back and tell me, hey, you know what, run the water, but we're still gonna charge you $7,000 for the hookup. It's unbelievable. And if I donate my $11,000 to the city, which the city could take, then that's fine. Then I don't get the charges for the water hookup. And I believe that's a fair trade. And I understand that I cannot give the money into the city, but I will donate it to the city so that it can help itself out with the water, if that's what the city chooses to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. And I can assure you, staff has been taking notes and listening, so there will be a response. Yeah, very good.
I've met with him several times.
Okay. So. All right, that concludes the names on my consent agenda or my public comment sign-up sheet. Next item of business then is the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of the following: minutes of the May 8, 2025 special meeting, minutes of the May 12, 2025 regular meeting, minutes of the May 27, 2025 regular meeting, minutes of the June 2, 2025 study session, minutes of the June 4, 2025 special meeting, minutes of the June 9, 2025 regular meeting. Payroll vouchers. Approve payroll voucher numbers 13296 through 14073 and wire transfers as listed for $1,063,581.92 for the period ending October 25, 2025. Claim vouchers. Approve claim voucher numbers 13648 through 13876 and wire transfers as listed for $540,078.31 for the period ending on October 23, 2025. And then we have, for information only, our budget position as of October 23, 2025. Council members, are there any items that you would like to remove from the consent agenda for further discussion?
I just want
Councilor
to
Hancock.
point out on 13892, it says the interim city manager service from 10/20/25 to 10/26/26. So are we getting him that cheap for the next year?
Sounds to me like a typo.
It's a typo.
Okay.
Well, let's just.
Yeah, make a note of that to be that
You want to know the check number?
corrected.
Does that help you? No, it's not payroll. Yeah.
Okay, while she's looking for that, any other items the council member would like to bring up? Okay. We've had so many brought up recently, I'm kind of shocked. I'm not 100% sure what to do.
I'm liking not having to bring them up.
It is nice. It is nice. Okay, with that noted for the record that correction needs to be made, what is the desire of council on the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Deputy Mayor to approve the consent agenda with the typographical error corrected. Any debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hancock,
Yes.
Councilor Ripley,
Yes.
Councilor Frausto,
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilor Hart,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion passes. Active agenda, Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. Approve a resolution proclaiming October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'd like to note that, yes, we are at the end of October and it might have seemed normal at our regular meeting at the beginning of the month to declare this proclamation. However, the person who is requesting this, Miss Elisiana Aguirre, has asked that she could be here in person to receive the proclamation, and she was unable to be there at our last regular meeting. And so we've agreed to move this here so that she can be here, and she is all dressed up for us. Council, what is your desire on the proclamation on the Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Move to approve. I'll second.
Either Vicky.
Okay. all
You
right.
choose.
I'm going to say Vicky Frausto this time. So we got a motion by Councilor Hancock, second by Councilor Frausto to approve the Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hart,
Yes.
Councilor Frausto,
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilor Ripley,
Yes.
Councilor Hancock,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Going to sign this and read this into the record, and then we're going to present it. All right. To read this into the record. City of Sunnyside, Washington, proclamation. Whereas October 2025 marks 40 years of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, dedicated to raising awareness about early detection, diagnosis, and treatment. And whereas breast cancer affects people of all backgrounds, with 1 in 8 women diagnosed in their lifetime and men also impacted. And whereas early detection greatly improves outcomes with 5-year survival rate exceeding 99%, underscoring the importance of regular screenings and equitable access to quality care. And whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month honors those who have lost their lives, supports those in treatment, and celebrates survivors, families, and advocates. And whereas the City of Sunnyside joins the nation in promoting prevention, early detection, equitable care, and continued research, now therefore I, Dean Broersma, Mayor of the City of Sunnyside, Washington, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the State of Washington and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and encourage all residents to unite in awareness, support throughout October to honor all those impacted by breast cancer. In testimony whereof I have here to set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Sunnyside to be affixed, done at the City of Sunnyside this 27th day of October in the year 2025. Make sure that I do this right. Jackie, how's that supposed to look?
Yeah, both of them?
I have both.
Yeah, it's okay.
There is a way to fit it in the folder, and I'm not one that I've never actually had to do it. And it looks really simple. I should have been able to figure it out. All right, I'm going to ask Ms. Aguirre to come forward so that I can present this to her. And then a second, we get all the council come up and take it. Well. Well, I'm assuming all the council wants to get in on the picture as well.
Sure.
It's always hard. Okay.
We going down there?
If you want to come down here, you can. If you want to stay behind us, that's fine too.
I'll stay behind.
Teresa, come on down.
Yeah, if everybody else here, I behind, I'll be behind. Just makes it tougher to get a picture. Get Jim in here.
Oh, everybody fits so perfectly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that's your
Thank you.
Excuse me, Jackie,
Yes.
are you unmuting me for the vote?
You're already unmuted.
Oh, then I'll be quiet.
No, Counselor, we heard your vote.
Oh, good. That's all I was
Yeah.
nervous about that. Thank you.
Yep. These kinds of proclamations, they're kind of a high point for council. And I do want to thank Ms. Aguirre. She did a lot of work in getting this ready to present. What I read was a lot of her work. And so I want to honor that. I have told her that I'm keeping an eye on her. Sometime I expect her to be sitting up here on this dais with the gavel in her hand, I have high expectations for her. I think she has an opportunity and she's got a great future here in the city of Sunnyside, should you wish to stay here. So, Councilor Vasquez?
Yes, so I do want to share a comment. So I just want to say thank you, Aliciana, for everything you do. And she's been actually having these pop-ups selling mini cakes. So I'm sure she'll have a few more before the month of October ends. That way each and every one of us could support that. So let's just follow her and support and buy some of those cakes because she's donating every single dollar to the Fred Hutch. So
Research Center.
yes, so let's do that. And thank you
Right.
for that.
Well done.
And her baking looks awesome.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Item B, what we've just added here, the 2026 ad valorem public hearing to receive public comment and adopt an ordinance approving the ad valorem property tax levies for 2026. This is a public hearing, and for that, I would like to read this introduction. The public hearing is being held to receive public comments and recommendations concerning the 2026 ad valorem property tax. The concern is that this hearing be fair in form and substance as well as appearance. Council members, do any of you have a conflict of interest concerning this issue? Do any of you stand to gain or lose any financial benefit as a result of the outcome of this hearing? If your answer is yes, please speak now. Council members, can you hear and consider this in a fair and objective manner? If your answer is no, please speak now. Audience members, is there anyone in the audience who objects to my participation or any other council member's participation in these proceedings? If there are objections, please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and state your objection. All right, the time is now 6:22, and the public hearing is now open. All right, so we'll allow the city manager to provide the staff report on this item. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, and I will actually turn this over to Ms. Hofstadter.
Ms. Hofstadter.
Hello. So the ad valorem this year is presented for the budget of 2026. With our projections, we are requesting the 1% increase for property tax. We will be also receiving a refund, and the refund amount total for taxes that were not collected for the year 2025. 2024. It's kind of weird. It's in the middle of the year to the middle of the year. So it's 2024 to 2025. And the refund is $37,765.15. And in the excess levy, we're requesting the sole purpose of paying the interest of and principal and interest of the bond of $469,200.
All right, thank you. Any person in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, or city of address, and now let me read that again. Any person in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter, please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and offer your testimony. No takers. Audience members, okay, that's the next one. Any questions or comments on this item? Council members, do you have any questions or comments on this item? Mr. Deputy Mayor.
What does the 1% equal out to?
So the 1% is actually an average of 1% over last year, plus it's a balance between what is projected to be with your construction growth. And the total is $2,730,000. So the increase, it's funny because the math doesn't math, but the increase is $27,188.14. So the increase is what they have is the maximum increase that you can get at the 1% of last year. The difference is what you project for the increase in construction and the maximum allowed with the tax base. And so it's kind of a math figure that you do in between. It's in between like the actual 1% and the projected 1%. It's Mr. Jacob Tate is really good explaining this. It's a really complicated way of doing math because it doesn't really math out, but it does because it's the way that the taxes project for the 1%, because you have to add in the construction and also the part that they don't they collect later. And so when you add those two parts back in, you have to project a little more, otherwise you will never get it. And so you kind of rob yourself of what you're owed. But the parts for the new construction and then the refund part that comes back to you.
Okay, so what the average property owner is going to see in their property tax bill is going to be a 1% increase
Correct.
over what they've paid this year that will go to the city of Sunnyside.
Correct.
Okay. That's the part that I think everybody needs to be clear on, that it is a 1% increase that property owners are going to see, and that goes to the city, and the total on that is going to be $27,000 to the city overall. Okay? It's-
The difference, yeah.
Right. It's not $27,000 that everybody's going to pay. It's going to be a grand total. So it's not a huge increase. It's 1%. Council members, any further questions? Councilor Hancock.
Monica, how much did property, I'm all for the 1%, but how much did property values go up this year in Washington State or in Sunnyside? Do you have that?
I don't have the value. We just get a tax-based estimate and then a new construction estimate. And they give us two different formulas you can use, and you have to kind of average in between the two formulas. You don't want to go to the max of what they suggest you could get at the max, because if you don't reach that, then you're asking for too much and you're not allowed to really do that.
Mhm.
And you don't want to go to the bottom base, because then you're not going to get that revenue from the construction that's being done. So you have to kind of do this guesstimate in the middle of the two. And so that's where it's at. New construction, they were predicting to be around just shy of 20 million in new construction. So with that, they they kind of do a whole formula, which I can send you to two different sheets that show the max base and then the bottom max base. So there's two different maxes, but it's a calculation of the difference of the two.
You do that.
It's kind of a hard thing to explain.
I think all of us who got our property tax statement from the county saw that the property has been assessed at a much higher value. It's gone up, I think, probably less in Sunnyside than other parts of the state, but still it's gone up. And I think many people who saw their assessment when they first opened that envelope were a little bit shocked. I know I was kind of surprised, but that's based on how houses are selling in your neighborhood. And so they say, well, if your neighbor's house is going to sell for this much, then this is what your house is worth too. And when you're selling your house, you like to see that number. When you're paying taxes on your house, you don't like to see that number. So that's how they do that. And so, yeah, that's going to mean an increase in your property taxes as well. So you're going to see that when they say that your house is worth more, that tax value is going to go up. And we don't have any control over that. So that's not something that anyone in the city of Sunnyside actually has any control over. So
Done through the county.
that would be the county, and the county doesn't really control it. They have a calculation that they use based on house sales, and that's how they figure that number out. We had a individual come to a meeting, YB Cog, and tried to explain that to us, and I think most of us understood it somewhat, but it's a complicated procedure. These guys love to do math. So, yes.
We've had these conversations before about how we translate this over to community, because even right now with the formulas, I mean, that's not my forte, and I kind of went over some of our heads here. How are we communicating this to because over time, we will see people come in and be upset about that 1%. 1% means a lot for some people. It means a little to other people.
Right.
We enter the room with different levels of understanding. How are we communicating this to our community and the residents in a manner where they will understand?
So the total that can be collected of the 1% is $27,188. So if we have 3,000 houses that we're paying, that would be dividing that 27,000 between those 3,000 houses. So it's a matter of the entire community and every person paying. So that 27,000 is getting split between everybody in the city, but there's also commercial and other entities involved besides just residential. And so the 27,000 gets split between every landowner. So to say it's going to be a 1%, they can take a look at their average tax bill and add that 1% onto it. And it should, it should honestly be able, it depends on how much you're paying, but cents, not hundreds of dollars. So when you see that difference, if your taxes are $1,500 or $15,000 a year, or 1,500 a year, let's say that, that's still 1,500 a year, then you're going to be paying, you know, a minute amount of $10 difference. So that's when you see your bill come through, it would be $5 in your first tax, $5 in your second, because you pay it twice a year, April and October. So you'll see that split happen through the year.
Okay, does that help?
Yeah, well, my question more was how we communicate it to residents. What's the city's communication to the community about that?
So obviously excuse me, Ms. Fossil, we add this to the, it goes out in the newspaper. It's on our website. Okay. And then we'll also, I believe we put flyers in our utility bills too, notifying them this. Is that,
Okay.
I think that's what we did in the past. I'm not
Legally,
sure.
You have to advertise it, and then you have to have 2 open meetings. And so this is our first one. We'll have another reading before this becomes, you know, we let the public have their involvement in it. So it has to be advertised. It was advertised, I believe Jackie put it in a couple weeks ago in the paper.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions or comments? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, so something that's not advertised as much is the senior citizens and the disabled can apply for a reduction of their tax, property, you know, taxes. So take advantage of it. If you need help with that, just, you know, take all the advantages that the county allows it. So just as a reminder.
Go.
All right. There being no additional comments from the public or council, let the record show that this public hearing is now closed and the time is 6:32 PM. All right, we will not vote on this item tonight. We will vote on it after the second reading. So that will come up in a future meeting and then we'll take a vote on this. And that means that the public can ask questions of council members, city staff, interim city manager, and others. If you have questions, feel free to try to do everything you can to clarify that information in your mind, because as Councilor Frauster said, we all come in with different understandings and in a different place. And in as much as possible, we would certainly like everybody to be able to understand how this works and why it works the way that it does. All right, item C, Catholic Charities presentation. Receive a presentation from Catholic Charities regarding seed funding. And who do we have here this evening from Catholic Charities? Emil?
Hello,
Ah,
I've
there she is.
joined virtually. I'm so sorry. I was not sure if I was going to be in this meeting or the next. I've got Joe Schmidt with YCDA on here with me as well. I sent out some information ahead of time. I'm not sure if anyone's had a chance to glance at it. We are building on Outlook Road. Everyone, I'm sure, is familiar with that. I've been here before talking about applications. We applied for the CHIP grant, and this is another source of funding to help us build the infrastructure. The trick for this one is we need to be contributing jobs, and as a part of this development, we're building a centralized community building, which will house several new jobs for the city of Sunnyside. It would probably be helpful if I answered questions, or I've got Joe here to answer questions based on what we sent in.
Emil, can you explain how those jobs are going to be created with the community center that you're planning on building?
Sure, yeah. We've got community managers for every block of apartments that we build, and community managers, maintenance, and then Catholic Charities, our sister organization, is also going to house some additional support staff for the community that we're building. So things that you might typically see in the community Head Start programs. I have to pull out my notes. Let me unlock it. Oh, is Jackie pulling it up? Oh, there's a rendering. That's on Outlook. And right there in the middle. This is not a this is a rendering, a very preliminary rendering. We're still working on the details of that. But just to kind of give you an idea, a big building in the center of the community. Early learning program, early achievers, youth and young adult, some childcare. We've also got some retail spaces that are going to go in there. Just trying to make a really good community building in the center of the development. Does that answer the question, Jim?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Joe, do you have anything to add about this application?
Hi, Camille. Hi, council members. I do. Camille came to us. She's been attending our seed board meetings. We obviously at YCDA are the administrators of the seed 0.09% for the county. And she had been at several meetings and presented this really good objective here to get ahead of the game and talk about pre-development. I know she's been engaged with the city of Sunnyside as well. It checks a lot of the boxes. It really fits our seed program. Even just aside from the housing, which is a benefit to all, it's fantastic to see the commercial retail portion and also the job creation in the office space. It definitely fits, and I think she'd have really, or Catholic Charities would do really well to apply for this. And the board's already been aware of this, and I think we're shooting for the January 15th meeting, which is our next regularly scheduled meeting. So we look forward to having that. And right now, I understand it's just at the city now, working with Camille and Catholic Charities to get the application process finished. And we stand by at the ready to help her with that, get it complete. So any questions for us over here at YCDA with the seed program?
Council members, any questions? Deputy Mayor.
So just to clarify, are these city jobs on city payroll or the Catholic charity jobs?
They're Catholic charity.
Okay.
They're Catholic charity jobs.
They're going to the city.
And just to clarify, there's a certain benchmark where we have like an algorithm to figure out, depending on the ask amount for the public funding on the private project, how many jobs are created. And Camille, you had mentioned, I don't want to say this out, was it 37? I forget. I don't have
42.
42, even better. So it definitely makes sense from the perspective of seed without even considering the housing portion. And the housing right now, seed, I think 2 years ago, at the 0.09 at the legislative level, they started a new thing where it can also be utilized for workforce housing. What's nice is we kind of get two birds with one stone on the housing, and we also have the actual economic impact of the job creation, which is really what the seed board is going to look at.
Councilor Hancock.
And does this seed application, does it include funding for the improvements to Outlook Road?
Camille, what infrastructure are you going to use this for your project? Because we approved the CHIP application to offset the water and sewer fees.
Right. That the infrastructure cost is more than just a connection fee, and we'll have a lot of expense in building those roads and sidewalks and all the infrastructure that'll go to that community building and to the center of the neighborhood. So this is meant to be for the infrastructure that will become a part of the city infrastructure when we're done with the construction. Does that answer the question?
But I think the question is really, is it going to include any work along Outlook Road? Because there is some concern with, with that intersection of Schoon and Outlook and then Outlook to the entrance of your project.
Okay. I don't think we've gotten to that level of detail as far as I know that for my part and the money that I'm trying to pull together through different sources is for the on-site work but I'm sure that's something we should add to the discussion as we pull together different funding sources.
And just for council awareness, I am trying to set up a meeting with Catholic Charities about the impacts to Outlook and Schoon with this project and what that road's going to have to look like and what those intersection improvements are going to have to be. So that's a little bit preliminary right now. And so that's, we are working towards that. We know that's could be a big congestion choke point there.
Yeah, it's already a congested choke point there.
Yeah, and as Councilor brought up, it is a concern going forward, and I think we definitely have to have some answers for that, how we can improve that situation and that intersection, because public safety is an issue as well as emergency responders If there is an issue, be able to get to that with traffic. So yeah, that needs to be worked on. Further questions or comments from council? All right. Camille, do you have more?
Nope, just that I'll come to the next meeting, or I think Jim might present it. We'd like to get approval to apply for this funding. It's a great opportunity for the city and for our goals in supporting with affordable housing and this community center. So look over it. If you have questions, my information's on there. Please reach out and ask, and I'm happy to, Jim, you and I will talk as we get a little bit closer to finalizing the details for Outlook Road. That sound good?
All right.
So
Counselor Hancock.
So that will come back before council with the explanation about Outlook Road before we vote on this.
Yes, I'm
Correct.
hoping to have a meeting here shortly, so.
Okay.
We need that information before we can vote. We're not going to vote on it tonight, so. Counselor Hart, I haven't asked you if you had any questions. I continue to forget when people are on Zoom. Do you have questions, Counselor?
I don't at this time. Although I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around exactly where on Outlook Road this is. Is this North Outlook Road?
No, it is Outlook Road as it leaves the city of Sunnyside westbound towards Outlook, and it'll be on the north side of the road
Is it close?
between Outlook and Wooden Road.
Oh, Outlook and Wooden Road. All right, thank you. I was having a little problem orienting to it, but it looks like it'll be a fine addition to the community, I believe, and especially with the road improvements. So thanks for bringing that forward.
Okay. Thank you, Camille.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, item D, Sunset Ridge Annexation Final Action. Adopt an ordinance to annex the Sunset Ridge annexation into the city limits. Mr. City Manager.
Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Taylor.
All right, we're finally getting to this. The Sunset Ridge annexation was initially submitted to the city on September 13th, 2024. The annexation is for property located at 920 West Edison Road, just west of our existing city limits. On October 14th, 2024, council passed resolution 2024-71 to move forward with the annexation process. On June 10th, 2025, the Planning Commission held their public hearing where they recommended approval of the annexation and determined that the property should be brought into the city with medium density R2 zoning. A notice of intention was created and submitted to the Yakima County Boundary Review Board on July 29th, 2025. The Boundary Review Board's 45-day review period ended on September 22nd, 2025. And the Boundary Review Board did not invoke jurisdiction. It issued its approval of the annexation on September 24th, 2025. The ordinance before you tonight is a final action for the city to take in order to complete this annexation. It is a 9.61 acre annexation. The preliminary layout that they had is roughly 53 lots on it. So,
okay, council. Questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilor Hart.
On these particular houses that this is currently we're annexing it into that's our plan to do. Do we know how many houses would it because of 53 lots? Is it going to be 53 houses?
that is what was proposed in it, but by the time we get through the long plat application, it may change a little bit here and there if they need to widen out a road or, make some changes for infrastructure. It could change for a few.
Okay, excuse me, one more question. What are we talking about? Middle income housing or upper income housing? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I believe they would be more on the starter end of homes, into the middle, similar to what they're doing just to the east with the Harvest Valley Estates.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, further questions or comments?
I have one question.
Councilor Hancock.
Is this something to do, does this have something to do with that PP&L franchise agreement?
No.
Okay.
Okay, other comments? Okay, personally, I think this is a natural growth direction for the city of Sunnyside. It's been uh, something that's been poised for a long time, ready to go. I think most people have expected Sunnyside to grow in this direction. And, you know, with the boundaries of the Yakima Valley Highway / railroad and the canal and all that, I mean, it's not gonna turn back into agricultural land, but it's a logical way for the city to expand. We have had an expressed need for additional housing in the city of Sunnyside for many years. And I think this goes in the correct direction to answer to that need. And also, as Mr. Taylor indicated, this is starter homes to middle-income homes. These are the kinds of homes that our young people might hopefully be able to afford to buy. And I know there are a lot of frustrated young people in the country today, not only in the state of Washington, but nationwide, who are just aghast at the cost of homes. And so if we can make housing available for our young families, that would be absolutely phenomenal. So I guess through all of that, I'm saying I'm in favor of this.
Absolutely.
Get more housing.
All right. If there's no further discussion on this, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion by Councilor Hart, second by Councilor Vasquez to adopt an ordinance to annex the Sunset Ridge annexation into the Sunnyside city limits. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Frausto.
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock.
Yes.
Councilor Hart.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Item E, investment policy. Adopt a new investment policy. Mr. City Manager.
Again, I'll turn this over to Ms. Hofstadler.
Ms. Hofstadter.
So tonight I'm requesting the adoption of an investment policy outlining the governing authority, ethics and conflicts, authorizing financial dealers, authorizing investments, safekeeping, maximum and minimum investments, performance and standards, reporting and disclosures. And this investment policy I've already presented to the Finance Committee and the City Attorney to look over for review. And I'm asking the council to approve the policy as it stands.
Council, questions or comments on this item?
Mr. Mayor,
Sorry. Yes, Ms. Hart.
I was just wondering, do we have an opportunity to preview this before we make a motion on it? I'd kind of like to look at it in a little bit more depth.
Okay.
Been posted.
It's been posted.
Agenda.
I understand that, but I just want to give it one more read.
Okay.
I'm not sure that there was a couple of things I had some questions on off the top. I'm sorry, I can't remember what they are, but I would like to just maybe take a closer look at it. Are we on any kind of a deadline to get this done?
No.
No. Okay, not particularly any deadline at this point, so.
Well, but absolutely, we do want to approve it, correct?
I think so.
Okay. But if that's possible, I'd just like a little more time to read it.
Okay. Question is noted. Further questions or comments, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, so thank you. We met last week and we discussed about this policy. I did go over the weekend. I should have emailed you, but there is one small city opposable. And I
Okay.
like that you're not reinventing the wheel and we're just kind of, going with what's out there and what's been approved already. But yeah, I love this policy and we just need to make sure that, once it's in there, that policies and procedures are followed. They're just not there, collecting any dust on the shelf. And that, our city manager and the staff, do follow these policies. So, thank you.
Okay. Further questions or comments? Councilor Vasquez?
Because to my understanding, there is no policy currently standing, or is there?
Not that I've found.
No, so they haven't not been able to find anything. So we're not in no rush, but per se, but we are in a way because there is nothing established. And the fact that there isn't anything established is concerning.
I agree.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm nodding my
Comments?
head.
Further comments? Councilor Ripley, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I do. If council's ready, I'm ready to vote on it. I've read it.
Of course, I was in the meeting, but,
Okay. Further comments?
That's true.
and
I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to vote on it myself. I've read through it. I am concerned finding out that we don't have a written policy in place, and that does put us at risk. One of the weak points of that is if and when there is turnover, then sometimes whatever verbal policy we might have had gets forgotten. And a verbal policy is not really enforceable. So I think for the well-being of the city, we need a written policy. We need to have some standards set up, and it needs to be very clear to staff, anybody who's involved in any of that, but council needs to be aware of it as well. And that needs to be something that council members can pull up and study and learn. And if we don't have anything written, or if we can't find what's written, that is very concerning. So I personally am ready to vote on it this evening as well. I understand your concern, Counselor Hart. But
Well, I will acquiesce to whatever the council decides. And, you know, whatever you guys decide, I will support that.
Well,
okay, Counselor Frausto?
I've read through it and it looks fine. I think the only thing that I was gonna point out was the typo. If Counselor Hart has any concerns about this or any lingering questions, she can always just come back to you, Monica, or
Yeah, for
to Jim.
clarification.
And if it ever comes to the point where we might have to bring it back to workshop, we can always do that. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything that we
I'm
vote
okay
on
with
can be
that.
modified, it can be revisited. There's nothing that council cannot go back and take a look at again. That's always something that we can do.
And I'll add that the reason we chose the Pollsboro policy was that was the most updated one. It just passed it 2 months ago. It does follow the current RCWs. This is not made up, wish list stuff that we're doing. These are actually state laws that we are following with this policy, so.
And I can vouch for it too, because my office works with Pollsbo and helped develop their policies. My
Okay.
Seattle folks.
Okay, so our legal counsel has taken a look at it and approves this as well. So that's also good to know. And for the benefit of the audience members, quite often when we're writing a policy, looking at standards or something like that, we do look at what other cities do. And if they've got a good policy, we will copy a good part of it. And other cities do that with us as well. We check out each other's work all the time. It saves us an awful lot of time and effort. If another city has something that's really good and that will work in Sunnyside, we absolutely will grab that. And there's, it's not like you're in school and you're reading over somebody's shoulder. This is always permissible. So that sort of thing happens a lot. So the slip up with that one word that stayed in there, said it was from Paulswell, that will be corrected, but that is not abnormal for that sort of research to happen.
It's been corrected and it's just been emailed to you guys.
Okay. The correct form will be posted on our website when this all comes up. So,
Excellent.
all right. So with all this, is there more discussion on this item? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve. Second.
All right, I got a motion by Councilor Ripley, second by Councilor Hancock to adopt the new investment policy. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Frausto.
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez.
Yes.
Councilor Hart.
Yes.
Councilor Ripley.
Yes.
Councilor Hancock. Councilor Hancock.
Yes. Sorry.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Item F, fee schedule. Adopt a new fee schedule for fiscal year 2026. Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually start with Monica, but I'm sure the chief of police will chime in, and as well as Hector and maybe Corey as well. Chief Halberg is not here.
I said I'd stand in for him.
There you go. All right, so Ms. Hofstetter.
All right, Ms. Hofstetter.
Okay, so there's the fee schedule has quite a few items that were changed. They are all listed in red. Hopefully you guys have a color copy. I can go through each line item if you would like, or if you guys have questions with the items that are on there. The additional items that were placed on there were a section for the police department. And then there was another section where the clerical stuff was. That it was already actually part of the Sunnyside Municipal Code. It just wasn't on the fee schedule. So I put it on there because it was already part of the code and needed to be put on here. And there was a 5% increase to ambulance, health and safety, streets, sidewalks, and water, sewer, and stormwater. Stormwater actually had, I did with Mr. Bridges' help, we did a rate study, and we were able to separate the commercial and residential rates for stormwater. And it actually brings the residential rates down and then presents a commercial rate at what commercial should be paying right now. They have more hard surface than residential, so it's important to make sure that their ERUs, we did a whole calculation, and Jim had a amazing spreadsheet from back in the day when he was running Public Works, and so we were able to work together and get that portion done. One of the things that I thought was important not to change was the permits and connection fees, because we do want to see growth in the city. It's important to not increase those things. And so I think that right now, just keeping some of those permit fees and some of those connection fees at where they're at and not increasing them. And this also was presented to the Finance Committee, so they had a chance to look it over as well.
Okay, council questions for Ms. Hofstadter? Ms. Hancock?
Well, I was just wondering, she said she didn't want to increase certain fees. Are the fees we're charging now covering the cost of the service?
For the permits and for connection, I believe connection fees, yes. Permit fees, I believe are still good, is from my understanding.
Okay, because that's my criteria for fees,
Yeah.
and is that we're covering our costs, but not over covering our
Correct,
costs.
yes.
Okay, further questions? So the stormwater discussion came up last year as well, and there were a lot of concerns because they were looking at breaking out the fees difference from the commercial to the residential. And the big talk was always on, it's going to basically lower the fees for residential. But what I got back, a lot of feedback was from churches. The fees for a church was going to go up exponentially. And then a lot of our churches are struggling financially. And so that's really difficult. So how are we going to work with that reality?
So it's a flat fee. So what we did was we took the, Jim, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, I
You
can-
can explain it much better than I can with the ERU.
Right. And so typically the way we approach this back in 2008, 2009, you have what's called an ERU, which is an equivalent residential unit, which in the city of Sunnyside is approximately 10,100 square feet. That's a residential house, driveways, sidewalks, sidewalks on your property and lawn, right? And so, they came up with a fixed cost for that unit, that ERU. And then, we tried to expand it to say, okay, so if one lot is 10,100 square feet, we'll say Walmart was 100,000 square feet, there's 10 residential lots in the Walmart lot, they would get charged 10 times as much each month going forward. And that was not adopted in back in 2008, 2009, and the city ended up adopting a flat parcel rate fee. However, those your commercial lots and your industrial lots, they generate the traffic, for the cars, and those such of things. So what we ended up doing is we said, okay, so how many residential lots are there? How many commercial lots are there? How many public facilities lots are there? It's the schools and the buildings, and how many industrial lots are there? And we figured out what that percentage was. And so we the current rate was set at $6.48. And, we had a target number. The target number we were targeting was $475,000. That's for this coming year's budget. That's the same number that HLA is targeted for a number of years for the stormwater. It's currently being subsidized by about $240,000 by the general fund. So we were trying to take the pressure off the general fund, free up that 240, and come up with a per parcel cost for everybody. And so what you see in the paper is we charge $6.01 for residential lots, so they're going to drop down by approximately 47 cents. Instead of doing an ERU calculation for all the big lots with all the big hard surfaces, we just did that. We took that average, that weighted average for those size of lots against that fee, and it came out to $17.78 a lot, right? So they're essentially paying 2.5 ERUs, if you will, no matter if their lot is 10,000 square feet or 150,000 square feet, they're going to pay $17.78 a month. It's a flat rate. That will get us to that $475,000 range to meet the projected 2026 budget.
Okay, so my concern is just, church organizations, nonprofits, NGOs, that kind of stuff, don't often have a lot of excess funds to handle that sort of stuff. So I was concerned last year. It was starting to look like they were, some churches were going to pay $6,000 to cover their stormwater, and they were coming at me really hard and fast. So I wanted to make sure that is something that they can manage. $17 is probably something that they can manage.
Right, that's $213.36 a year.
Yeah. So, okay, thank you for doing the work on that, and thank you, sir, for that explanation. All right. Have you finished with,
Is there any other questions?
Yeah.
Please.
Counselor Hancock?
Surprise. No, I just want to say that since the inception of stormwater in this city, it's been a hot button item. We got to a point when it was first implemented that it was $5,000 for these churches a year. So we had a lot of public input and many, many meetings over this and got it back to a reasonable amount. I really like what you've done with this. Thank you, Jim, because this makes it make sense, and I really appreciate it. So good job on that.
But I had a lot of help from Ms. Hawk.
Sounds like it.
Okay, further questions or comments? All right, carry on. Chief, is that you?
I guess when you point at me, I guess I'm up. Okay, so the police department has never really had in the fee schedule, a fee for, I guess, using an officer for an off-duty type event. When I started here, we did them. I'm not really sure how that got billed. I know I worked at like the Dark Horse several times when big bands came in. I'm not sure how they set that rate. The other thing is, since I've started here 20 years ago, we've never adjusted our rate for our DUI restitution because the rates were never adjusted as salaries have gone up, et cetera. So what we did was, I was already working on this for the DUI restitution. We are incorporating it here, so if somebody wants to hire an officer, they know what that rate's going to be. So this would potentially, depending on what council decides to do, come into effect on Cinco de Mayo security, things like that. We'll have a rate that we can give people. They'll know what they're paying. The only difference is we have a call out list that has all our officers on it, and we have to, by union contract, call down that list, and we can't dictate who we're going to hire. So a sergeant does cost more than a patrol officer, so it just depends on who takes that overtime shift, whether you get charged the sergeant rate or the officer rate. We did put also, the other thing was police record checks and fingerprints per card. We don't really do the record checks anymore. We do the fingerprints, but those are in the SMC, correct? Correct, yep. And so those rates are just now shown in the fee schedule. So somebody could go to one location and find out what their fee is going to be, so.
Okay, questions? Counselor Vasquez?
Yeah, so you just said that it depends because they'll have to go through union, and depending on what officer is available, then that's who they'll get, correct?
Correct.
So there is a difference in the fee. So will that be echoed back to the person who's trying to get these services?
Yeah, so if they say we're gonna hire an officer, so I just did this for an upcoming event. I said, well, I'll get you a rate as soon as we know who's gonna take the overtime. And in this particular incident, it was a patrol officer, and so they were given the patrol officer rate. So we bill them around the time of the event, so it's not something that we collect ahead of time or anything like that, so.
Okay. And I have one more question.
Go ahead, Counselor.
So I see a drone, and right next to it, the space is still empty. Is that still not decided?
Monica, I'm not sure what you decided to do there. I gave her a rate that I came up with and it's not on
We
here.
weren't sure how to charge it. So the drone itself is not the fee. The fee is actually going to be for the staffing. And so you have to pay, because the police department has to staff the drone. So you're
Mhm.
going to pay for that staff if you're requiring a drone.
So that staff perimeter could be a sergeant, could be that's why it says drone, but you'll pay the
Okay.
actual staff member's cost from
That'd
the
be
charges
same.
above it,
Okay,
right?
so minimally an hour. Will that be?
Well,
okay?
a minimum hour would be 2
Mhm.
hours because that's what the union contract says. So if you hire an officer, the minimum is going to be 2 hours.
Minimum of 2 hours.
And for the drone operators, there's only 6 people that are certified by the FAA to fly the drones at this time within the police department. So it would limit who's going to be called.
And their availability.
I'm sorry, what's that?
And the availability.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's security drone. That's not to fly over your house.
Only for security
Right.
purposes.
Yes.
Only
Yes.
for
Security
security.
zone.
Okay.
Okay, further questions or comments?
Okay.
All right. No other questions or comments. What is the desire of council on this item?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
thought we were gonna go to Hector.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do have a question on
I'm
the,
sorry,
on
Hector.
the, on the installation fees and Monica, I have a note here that, for example, the 3/4 meter, the part was right about $145. And that leaves, about $120 for labor. Does that cover the labor in reality for, that connection?
For a 3/4?
The 3/4?
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So the labor, it shouldn't take very much time to put in a 3/4 inch meter. So we should be okay.
Yeah, it's really, you're opening the meter lid up,
Mhm.
pulling the old meter out, dropping the new meter in.
Gotcha.
Right. And some of these meter installation costs as well, if it's new construction, then the contractor sets the meter box and all that, and then the city comes in and drops the meter in, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, just want to make sure, and like Councilor Hancock said, that, we're actually recovering the cost of what we're doing.
right.
All right, may I, Mr. Mejia, I apologize. I didn't have your name written down on the list of people who was gonna
Oh, you're fine.
speak. So if
You're fine.
you go right ahead, sir, and make your presentation right now.
He almost got away with it. He was happy too.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well.
Any questions?
So I will say, we try to look at that 2 hour time frame when we're sending out a person. And that's just by the time the person has to get their gear together, get to the truck, get out to the site, visit, and then get back and do whatever process. So we're always kind of looking at that 2 hour time window.
Okay.
So typically that's the charge.
Is, Mr.
Councilor
Mayor,
Hart.
so, when you say it's a 2 hour minimum, is that for, I think I heard the chief say for sending out, maybe I didn't hear it, maybe I just made it up in my head, but 2 hours, it was $93, say, I think that was for a patrol officer. Is that just per hour? Is there a minimum?
Correct. That's per hour, minimum of 2 hours.
It is a minimum of 2 hours. So you're
Yeah, because
paying
we have to pay
93
them for 2 hours per their union contract. So
Right, okay, so the same is true then, if I'm understanding right, for sending out the guys from Public Works,
Correct. It's 2 hour minimum.
and that's to install the,
But our fees are built into those unit costs, right? So when you see that labor, that unit cost for a meter, that includes our time to install as well.
okay.
Yeah.
And that again is the 2 hour minimum,
Well, the 2 hours is built into that number. And if it goes over that, then we're gonna eat the cost,
okay,
right? So we're hoping that it doesn't go over that price.
so you want to get her done in 2 hours,
Correct.
okay, okay, thank you.
The only other thing that I would say that I added was to reservations on the refundable deposits. It said key, but there wasn't any key deposit really to the parks. So I just changed the wording to cleaning. So it's a cleaning deposit. And then the pool, for some reason, was the only rental that didn't require a deposit. So I just added a deposit for the pool rental as well. So that way, if there's any cleaning or damage, that would cover that cost for an employee to have to take care of those things.
Okay.
And the only reason that they used to give keys out, but the bathrooms are only open, in the springtime, summer, by fall, so April to October, they're open and they close up, so there's no reason to have a key rental out, because there's no water. So all the water's turned off and everything's blown out, so that's why we stopped giving out keys.
Okay, well, and the reason for that was we were keeping the bathrooms locked because of vandalism. And so if somebody had a rental, they would have the key to the bathrooms. They could use that. Then when they were finished, they were supposed to lock it up and bring the key back.
So
But
now we open the door, make sure someone goes out, opens the door. Especially at the pools, we use the lifeguards to say, hey, open the door, and then lock it up as soon as they get done.
okay, so that's still being covered. That's good. Because unfortunately, as good as our community is, there are still those who would vandalize given the opportunity, and we want to prevent that from happening to city property. So further questions or comments?
Just,
Counselor
Mayor,
Hart?
I was just, again, looking at the parks, the field reservations and so forth. Just to be clear, the reservation for, say, field reservation for tournaments, and that's a per field for up to 3 days. I'm trying to figure out where I'm not sure. I'm reading 50, no, not 50. Where is that? $78, I believe. And then there's it stayed the same, but the one for cleaning, renewal cleaning and damage deposit required, what is that? Is that for fields? The $55?
The $55 is just the refundable deposits for any reservations. So the pool reservations, the parks reservations, the sports parks reservations. So if they're reserving any spots with the city, it's just a refundable deposit so that if there's any garbage or damage done, that fee covers an employee going out there and taking care of those things.
And then here for excuse me, may I continue?
Continue, Counselor.
The nonprofit community event discount per application says 50%. Is that 50% of the deposit or 50% of the rental?
I'm
just looking still under fields and reservations here. That's the last one. Nonprofit and community event discount.
At the bottom of
Page 6 of 11.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Last line.
so that's just for the parks and picnic reservations.
Oh, okay. 50% of what?
That's just for the reservation. That's not for the cleaning deposit. It's for the application. So you have an application fee, but the deposit has to still be there because that covers any damage or any garbage. So we have to be able to cover an employee going out there and cleaning up. And the $55 would be applied towards an employee's cost.
So 50% of the $55. Is that what that percentage is?
Mm.
I'm just looking for a number. I'm sorry. A whole number.
I believe what you're wanting to know is the 50% would we come out to the people like who's reserving the field for leagues, if it's a nonprofit, so it's 50% off of $31.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking for?
I'm sorry. I didn't get it worded right, but that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, that's where the 50% comes from.
Okay. Thank you. That
Welcome,
now it
Mayor.
makes sense. Thank you.
Monica, on the next page, under parks, field reservations, the nonprofit community event discount, it went from 50% to 50 cents. Is that a typo, maybe?
Oh, it probably just, the percentage sign probably turned.
So it is a
into
fit,
point.
it's still a
50.
50%.
It's 50%.
Okay.
And that's why we have these conversations.
I have a
Go
question.
ahead, Counselor.
So going back to that nonprofit, so the park picnic area reservations, I see the $55 for the refundable cleaning and damage deposit. So then what is the fee to reserve a park picnic area. Just because I don't see it in that section.
Yeah.
Is that the $16 an hour?
Right here, right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
up
that
to
would be-
150.
Minimum 4 hours.
That's 4 hours. Okay. Okay, so then it would be 50% of the $16. Okay.
Okay, further questions? Okay, I appreciate the work that you've all done on this. It has been a long time coming. I think we started the process some time ago and it did not get followed through, did not get continued. I think we made some adjustments, we made some improvements on it, but it needed to be continued, and I'm glad that you guys have taken it this much further. Is there any more that you guys have to share with us on this item?
Mayor, if I can.
Yes, sir.
And I think this is only going to be kept in one place and there's only going to be one copy. So we're not going to have 4 or 5 copies with different fees floating around the city. So.
Okay.
Anybody
Updated
needs to
online.
Change it. It's in the finance office.
But the electronic version will be on the website?
Correct.
Yes.
And would that be under, just so I go to look for it, where would I look for it at? You know, which category?
I'll show you right now.
You'll send a link, right?
Yeah.
So you go to our website and then doing business fee schedule, it's right there.
Okay, okay. Sometimes when you're looking for stuff, spend some time. Thank you for that. Sorry, I
And the,
did.
coun- and the counselor did remind us of an important thing that we've had over the course of this past year, where we've had certain things passed and different versions have been floating around. And one occasion, I think at least on one occasion, we passed something that was an amendment to that, something that wasn't the current version. And so we're trying to prevent that from happening. That was somewhat embarrassing to find out that had happened. So we'll try to prevent that from happening. So we passed this tonight. This will be the final finished version of it, and that will be the one that covers everything. So
It won't take effect until January 1st.
that's correct.
Doesn't matter,
But-
just get it out there.
And it's out there, it's out there. All right, further questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Councilor Hart, second by Deputy Mayor to adopt the new fee schedule for the fiscal year 2026. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Councilor Hancock,
Yes.
Councilor Ripley,
Yes.
Councilor Fausto,
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilor Hart,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. Item G, Travelers Agreement Coverage Waiver. That was added tonight. Approve an agreement about the coverage waiver with travelers. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, and I will actually turn this over to Ms. Norton, our
Yes.
city's attorney.
Ms. Norton.
Good evening, council. So, as you may know, the city's insurance pool has worked on settling the Solace lawsuit, the individual who was imprisoned for many years. They have resolved it at coverage limits, but there was an exclusion for the attorney's fees portion. Travelers, which was another one of the carriers involved, has come to the table and offered to pay the additional 30,000 that would have been required to be paid by the city. But they are going to pay the 30,000 to cover the insurance or the insurance counsel's attorney's fees. But in doing that, they need a waiver of coverage, meaning that we're not going to go back after them to file any kind of bad faith insurance claim against them. So you're being asked to approve that coverage waiver, in which case they'll make the payment towards the settlement.
Council questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilor.
did we have the number on how much that settlement is going to be, the agreement, the coverage?
The insurance pool is settling it for their coverage limits of $7.1 million. And so that is 7 from one carrier, 100,000 from another, and then Travelers needs to kick in because they're what's called wasting policies. They don't cover the attorney's fees come out of what would be the coverage settlement. So to be able to settle for the entire policy limit, we, either the city had to kick in the $30,000 or Travelers, which is the excess carrier for one of the pools, was willing to kick it in as long as we agree we won't seek claims against them. And so this is a good way for the city to not have to pay anything towards the cost of settlement.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions or comments? So the good news is that the city will owe nothing on this settlement. There's nothing coming out of our general fund for this. So that's good news.
And just so you all know, because it's the insurance pools have the authority to settle it, there's nothing for you to approve other than this coverage agreement. So in some ways, it'll maybe seem strange that you'll hear press releases in the future about this city resolved this matter, but it is all from insurance funds.
Okay. All right. If there's no further comment, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Counselor Fausto, second by Counselor Ripley to approve the agreement coverage waiver with Travelers. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Counselor Hart,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
Counselor Fausto,
Yes.
Counselor Ripley,
Yes.
Counselor Hancock,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion passes. I am excited and happy to put this one behind us.
Absolutely.
Okay, next item from council members, mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. Council, the Rules Committee met and we have come up with some names that we would like to move forward for approval for some of our boards and commissions. The first one is for our Arts Commission. We would like to move forward with the name of Sandra Sassadi for our Arts Commission. Is there any objection to moving Ms. Sassadi forward for our Arts Commission?
No objection.
Hearing none, I understand she's quite the musician, and so I think she would be a good addition to the Arts Commission.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just a little point. When these come to us, can we get the application too, so we can see that she's a good musician and what you were considering?
Yes, that can
Okay.
be done.
Okay, thank you.
You should have already received it in your. You should have sent them.
Yeah, we saw those earlier.
Oh, in my email
Yeah, they
that
are.
I can't get into?
All of the applications have been sent in.
Okay, thank you.
All right. For Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, the committee agreed to move forward with Ms. Monica Niemeyer. Is there any objection to that?
Can I ask a question, please?
You may.
And she's representing a receiver of the money or a contributor of the money?
She would be a receiver of the income, the money.
And can you say which project?
My mind just went blank.
Lighted Implement Parade,
Yeah. The
Farmers Parade.
Implement Parade organizer, sorry.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, just my mind went blank all of a sudden. So I'm
No
seeing her
problem.
sitting there. She's looking at me. She's smiling. I cannot think of what she's going to do there.
There you go.
All right. And the next one for the Climate Resilience Advisory Team, we would like to move forward with Juan Alvarez. Any objections there?
Can I ask, I couldn't open my email, could open my email, but I couldn't open up each one of these. And can I ask what he brings to the table? You have to have, what, agriculture industry? There's,
Mr. Alvarez worked for the city of Sunnyside for some time in our Public Works Department. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, it was the wastewater treatment. Pardon? Just water department, sorry. So that's his experience. He worked for the city of Sunnyside, and if I remember right, it was Richland or West Richland. I don't have that document in front of me right now, but he does have a number of years' experience working with that, and I think that does have an impact on our climate advisory as well as water treatment and purification, so.
And he is a member, a resident of Sunnyside.
He's also a resident of Sunnyside, correct?
In the city limits, resident of
I
Sunnyside.
believe so.
Yeah. Just because that's come up several
It
times.
has.
That's why I brought it up.
Okay, so no
objection.
no objections to any of these individuals?
No objection.
All right, very good. Then we will move those forward. And I will sign the documents after the meeting tonight for each of them. And if those who are here will be able to receive that, take one home with them. Suitable for framing.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I guess, can you explain to the public also on the housing authority that we haven't forgotten about it, that we are scheduling?
Yes, that is the next thing that needs to be explained. The Housing Authority Board needs some replacements. We've got a couple of seats that are open, and we've had a number of applications. What the committee has decided that would be best is if we would take some time to interview those applicants. The Housing Authority is an important board. And so we would like to interview each of those applicants, and the clerk is working to set up times where we can meet. Ideally, we would all do those interviews on one day so that we can just block that time out. That's what we're hoping to do. We've done that for other applicants for other commissions as well, and most notably for Planning Commission. So those who have applied for those positions, please look forward to getting some communication from our clerk. One of the things that we did do, and I just want to be clear on this, is if we have received from you an application for more than one board or commission and we approved you for one, that means you're not moving forward in any of the others. Okay? So if you've been put on one, for example, Arts Commission, and you were applying for something else, you're on Arts Commission, but you're not moving forward in something else. Okay? So that's what we as a committee decided to do, just to try to get as many people involved as possible.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would just say that we need to keep those options open because there's some boards and commissions that have to have a quorum. So, I mean, if you're short a quorum,
We
then
will
somebody could sit
We will
on
revisit
two.
that decision, yes. But in as much as possible, I'd like to get as many community members involved in these boards and commissions as possible. And so that's what we initially decided to do.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the council request status report. We can pull that up.
Let's be able to see that.
All right. First item is the dog breeding ordinance.
So the dog breed ordinance is done. I will be taking it to the November 10th meeting, since the next one will be a study session, and we hopefully would have it come to action.
Okay, thank you for your work on that. This has been a long time coming. Doesn't seem like it should have taken 9 months, but here we are. And of course, it's been a busy year, a lot of distractions in a lot of different ways. So thank you for doing that. I know.
I mean, Mr. Gabon here has helped me out with the ordinance that he had provided before, and Ms. Norton's been helping me out, and Mr. Bridges, we all put our cents into it. We've all put our 2 cents in there and make it happen. So
Okay.
thank you to everybody.
All right, council members, any questions on this item?
Excellent work.
No, but do we still have a dog catcher? I mean, what's going on with that?
That's not me.
Oh,
We're getting ready to open the position. About a month ago, I talked to Mr. Bridges and we found out that it was a funded position. And the only reason we've held off is you have to send them to an academy that's once a year in March. Depending on what happens with this tax in Yakima, there may be some people that are already trained hitting the job market. So we've held off. We'll probably post it here in the next week or two.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions on the dog breeding ordinance? All right, let's move forward to the next one, the Yellowstone Trail.
So, been talking to Mr. Bridges, and we are looking into going to the museum, taking some pictures, and obviously, hopefully putting out some banners out there of the historical of the Yellowstone. I am working on the little plaque I showed you guys, so I can get it up there and make that area nice for everybody, and obviously trying to go out and talk to old time vehicles owners and their committees. So
if I can add into that, we went to that, what was the website? The Yellowstone Trail
Yellowstone
Organization.
website, yes.
Yeah. And after the last meeting when we discussed this, and they essentially do the same thing that was brought up here, where they have the old car shows and things of this nature. But what I found interesting as I really got into this website was the yellow stones that were painted and placed alongside the roadway, right? And we could do stuff like that, right? I mean, they're just rocks to kind of recreate that along the road. Mr. Mejia brought up the museum. We wanted to get into the museum to see what kind of old pictures were there. Part of the Yellowstone organization is an opportunity to join that, and the memberships start at virtually nothing, and they go up to, I think, $400. But it would be interesting that we could join that and then share our photos, share our history, if we have those type of things. So that's what Mr. Mejia was talking about when we said get in the museum and see what kind of information we have that we can share with the rest of the United States that had a hand in the Yellowstone Trail. So
Mr.
That
Mayor?
would be cool. Counselor Hart.
Yeah, one of the people too, and when you're looking for historical material as to why the Yellowstone, and I think we mentioned this the last time, but it was due to the two big dealers, Ford in particular, Mr. Scheller, Roscoe Scheller. He was one of the ones who convinced the Yellowstone people to come into Sunnyside, ending up to Granger, and then so it ended up in Spokane, cross country to Seattle. It was they were very influential people. Let's just put it that way. And they went to Washington a lot and bugged people. So that's how we got the Yellowstone in our little neck of the woods.
All right, well, thank
So
you for that.
somewhere there, maybe at the museum, there's more information on that.
Okay, thank you for that. And I saw another hand up. Counselor Hancock.
Jim, where are we on the surplusing of that property? I know that adjacent property owners want to know.
excuse me. Yeah, that's a great question. That property is currently and still is surplus. I did have an inquiry about it. And we do have a price set for it. And I haven't heard anything more of that party is still interested. But it was those two, both that parcel and the lower parcel next to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, before we do too much developing, that means we have to make sure that we
pull it,
unsurplus it.
Unsurplus it, yeah.
And thank you for keeping that in our minds, Counselor. Okay, further questions on this item? All right, our next one is our temporary vendors and business permits. So where are we with that?
We are making progress on it. I did hit a little snag. I got into our food court part of it, trying to add the food courts into this. And that comes into more land use where they can be allowed in town. So we're probably going to have to go with the planning commission to do some review on that one. We can certainly get what we've got put together in and get it adopted and then come back and revisit once we meet those other requirements for the food court stuff. So currently it will not incorporate food courts into the ordinance. So.
Okay, questions or comments for Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious as to whether or not, and I think Corey, I had a conversation with Corey last week, but I was wondering are we getting any input from some of the mobile vendors, particularly the ones who are working on food courts, to maybe help, what do they need, what do we need, kind of conversations? Can we do something like that?
I'm sure we probably could. I generally only have contact when they apply for their permit, and I explain the rules to them. But we could certainly get together. We got a handful of them. I think there's 12 or 14 licensed ones we could get a hold of and talk to see what we could do to help them in this whole process. So.
Yeah, I kind of would like to see that happen.
Okay, further comments or questions? I have noticed in some of my reading that unlicensed vendors are not an issue just in Sunnyside, but statewide and all over the country. I've been starting to see some articles on that. And so it's a problem that's being addressed all over the country at this time. So we're right in the thick of things.
No, it is a very large scale, fast changing field for sure. So, I mean, some of the food truck stuff I was looking up is still in a pilot program. There's not even any rules to really reference as far as spacing between, and there's a lot to it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So you're breaking new ground, and that's good. It's commendable. You guys are doing good work. I've seen some of the stuff that you've done, some of the proposals that you've made, and I like what I'm seeing. So I think you're going in the right direction with that. So thank you for that.
Good deal.
Next item would be our fire hydrant parking lines downtown. Should be
Sounds
complete.
completed.
That should be completed, so that should be able to be removed. Counselor, is that okay if we pull that off the? Okay, we will do that. Next item will be our farm implement machinery.
And I have not heard back from our insurance. I will call them tomorrow.
Okay. And I want to say our North Sixth Street parking has been kind of resolved as well,
Mhm.
correct? Okay, can that thing, and whose was that? That was Counselor Vasquez. Can that be pulled as well? All right, very good. Our city vehicle markings, have they been updated and corrected?
Yes, sir. I had a picture for you guys 2 weeks ago of what's on there. I sent it out on my memo of our vehicles being posted with the stickers. So
Oh, yeah,
they are
that's
being
what that
completed.
was.
Okay, so those are all up to date. We're all in compliance with RCW?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
You got that RCW with the department that it says departments?
Yes, they say Public Works. and
Okay,
then it
great.
says, authorized use only.
Thank you.
And heck, aren't we gonna put on the
Yes.
vehicle number? So if it's a water vehicle, let's say WA
Okay,
2007 or whatever the vehicle number is. So
great.
So they'll have their own for sewer, SS or SD sewer department, street, STD, water, WD. I know. We'll try to figure it out. It's a storm drain also, so we'll make it work.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
they'll be marked on the vehicles.
It's nice for us to comply with RCWs.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's helpful overall. All right, thank you for that. Boys and Girls Club.
I have not done anything on that one yet. I will start that this week.
Okay, and then the community center.
So I did meet with Mr. Oscar and his wife today about having a indoor soccer practices for them. We are moving on the right direction. We want to make sure that they have the right insurance, and we want to make sure that we are able to accommodate them and the pickleball at scheduling at the same time. I know they practice more at night. Pickleball does it in the morning, but they do at night sometimes. So we are working together to make that happen. So we are on the right direction. Thank you.
Good. All right. Council, is there any other items that you'd like to see added to the council request status report? Councilor Hancock.
The old Safari building, can we do something with that? I mean, it just sits there year after year. Is there anything, can we get a report on that? What we can do about it, what we can't do about it?
Is it, Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Is it still in some sort of litigation? I remember there were two different folks working on it and there was kind of a litigation going on. Is that still in effect? Is that why it's not sold, perhaps?
That's what I'm asking
Yeah,
about.
I
Can we
think it
get
would- I think
information
that's-
on it?
Yeah, I think Councilor Hancock is asking if we can determine the status of that building so we know what, if anything, we as a city can do about that to clean up the downtown. I think, is that where you're going with that, Councilor?
Yes.
Okay, let's put that on there. Questions on the Safari building? And I suppose we could put on, whatever property is down there. I saw a for sale sign on one of the properties there. So what's going to happen there, I'm unsure. Councilor Hancock, you have your hand up again?
Yeah, I also would like to put on our radar, the Allen Road and 16th Street intersection, out there by the Ajo. I've had calls and messages about that, and the Juanita and Yakima Valley Highway. Somebody said that they wanted to know what was going on there, if there was anything going on there. Jim, do you know what's going on at Juanita and Yakima Valley Highway? 241 Juanita, Yakima Valley Highway.
Yeah, so the where the railroad tracks are at and the current lights, so that's not gonna change. The signal's not gonna change. The state has been looking at installing roundabouts along the rest of that corridor, with the first one going to be on the south side of the overpass on Juanita, right there where the on and off ramps come together. The city has received 1.5 million, I believe. For whatever reason, the state says, here, city, you take the project and you run with it. I believe the Borton apartment complex is also contributing almost 485,000, I think, as part of their impact fees to the city, for the impact there. So we have about, almost $2 million to build a roundabout at that location, with subsequent roundabouts coming up. I think that the next one would be, either at, Allen Road and, 241. And I think the next one is, Edison and 241. So I don't know when that money's gonna come through, or
Okay.
again, why the state decided to, so here's the money, but you gotta follow all the state regulations instead of just building it themselves. So now they're kind of passing it through us to build this.
But something will be done. I'm just afraid somebody's gonna get killed. I think Councilor Hancock is on point with that these are becoming dangerous intersections, and there's a lot of people that go through them every single day. And as Sunnyside grows, we're gonna see more and more of those. We mentioned, Schoon Road and Outlook Road. That's kind of a messy interchange to try to improve as well. So, we're gonna have to put some serious thought into those going forward, because, we're gonna continue to grow. And so,
But Jim, I don't know if it's appropriate to put on here about Allen Road and 16th, but at least, to put it on the transportation improvement plan.
Yeah, because it's not currently listed on the STIP. So,
Yeah.
that would be a good one to put on there for
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
all right, if you think of anything else that needs to be on there, please contact the manager and we can get that added to that. All right, next item will be other reports, announcements, and or questions by council. And I'm gonna start with Councilor Hancock.
I went to the Victory Church ribbon cutting last week, and to the Chavez Tacos Complete Wellness ribbon cutting and I don't know, fair or whatever you would call it. They were both great. Chavez Tacos was wonderful. Victory Church is a nice addition. A lot of, it was a very energetic, very fun event to attend, so.
Okay, Councilor Vasquez.
Yes, so let me see. So I'll start off with the first one. So I had the honor to attend Lions Club's 75th anniversary. That's 75 years that they've been actually an active club in the city of Sunnyside. So I was there, and I just wanted to thank Sherry. Sherry, she actually received an award for being for always going above and beyond, and she got an award for being an outstanding lion and leader. So that was pretty fun to witness as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to Sherry, Ray, and thank you, Melba. And I also want to say thank you to Julia, because those four have been pilots, crucial pilots of this club and keeping it alive in our community. And I know right now we have a lot of new members coming in. So I just wanted to say thank you to them for doing the work, because it's not easy to run a club. It's not easy to sometimes stay consistent, right? So I just wanted to say thanks to them. And while I was at that 75th anniversary, we actually had a special member of Lions Club come from all the way, like, it was a long drive. I don't remember where he was from, but he wrote a nice letter, and he read it out to all of us, and he made me just think about how much of an impact small clubs can do. So I actually just wrote some of the bullets that I remember from the top of my head, not all of it, but I just wanted to share it with you all so we all know how important it is for Sunnyside to have clubs. And this is just one of many. Lions Club, we have Rotary, we have 2 Rotaries, as a matter of fact, in the city of Sunnyside, a morning one and a noon one. And I just wanted to highlight some of the things that Lions Club has done and will continue to do. So one of them is providing eyeglasses for those who cannot afford it. So we actually have a project where, even, let's say I have glasses on and my lenses break, we could actually donate the frames, and they actually send it out to other places that they can actually fix and repair. So if you don't throw your lenses or your frames away, you could donate them to Lions Club. And also, if you're not able to afford to buy a new pair of glasses, even if it's for kids, you can actually reach out Lions Club, and they actually have a agreement with one of the glass eyeglass companies here in Sunnyside. I believe they moved to where like Best Western is at. There's an eyeglass place around there. So yes, so they have a connection with them. They have an agreement, and they actually give huge discounts. And then Lions Club provides those glasses. We also do White Cane Days, where we raise money for the blind and help educate. So we go to Safeway and we ask for donations and we help with that. We also just implemented a new peace poster competition last year, and it was a beautiful idea brought by Sherry, where we go to the schools and we ask the middle schoolers if they want to participate in a competition where they draw a poster that reflects peace in our country. And some of them would draw the peace sign, or in some others would draw doves, and they get to be creative and they get to compete. Then the Lions Club, we rate them from which one we think is the best, and then we move it forward for a national competition. We've also helped with Thanksgiving dinners, providing them for the seniors. We've also done first responder dinners for the Sunnyside Police Department and the Sunnyside Fire Department. And Lions Club also has provided donations to Pioneer School that started with Lion Julia Hart. And we do donations of warm clothing to the elementary schools, because when it snows, sometimes they slip. When they're in recess, they come back in soaking wet. So now they have an extra pair of clothes to wear and stay warm during the remaining of the school day. We've also, Lions Clubs has also showed up at many community events, including the community center volunteering. And not last but not least is Lions Club has always helped community and small actions, even when they are not wearing the yellow vests. So that was just a little bit that was highlighted, and it impacted me because you don't really think about how much a club gives and contributes to a community until it's all listed out the way I just listed it out. And that's just a little bit of what Lions Club does in the city of Sunnyside. So I just wanted to thank them and the leaders who have kept it alive. I also attended Victory City Church's ribbon ceremony. And today, actually, I saw Chief Lehman walking around downtown and handing out flyers to all the local businesses, giving all the local business owners a heads up that this Thursday, downtown will be closed because they will be hosting a trunk retreat. So I just wanted to thank our chief for dedicating the time to hand out flyers himself. And I think that's very important. And for people to see your face and to see that you're committed to communicate with our local businesses means a lot. So thank you for doing that. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Councilor Ripley.
I also went to the Victory Church, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it. They have really updated the inside, repainted everything. It's very nice in there. And let's see, I went to the Friday night grand opening of the Taco Chavez, and that was the vendors. I didn't try the tacos.
They're really good.
Oh, well, I'm missing a few teeth, so I I couldn't eat hard food, so I didn't try any, but they looked fantastic. And the vendors, they really had some nice vendors there. And then on my way home, I was going by the museum in Sunnyside, and they have a shed out there. And somebody has told me that there's people living in that shed. And that they keep plugging in an electric cord into the museum, and he goes by and unplugs it, and it's plugged back in the next day. Well, when I went by there, I couldn't see in the shed, but there was smoke just pouring out of the top of the shed. So I called 911. And the police or the fire department went over there, and they pulled out this big old barbecuer out of there that was just flaming full, and they took it out and sat it out in the parking lot. There was two guys in there. How they were in there with all that smoke, because I thought the whole roof was on fire. It's quite close to the museum. It's quite dangerous to have that out there. But I sat across the street and watched the whole situation. And so I just thought I'd report on that. And another thing, is on Midvale Road. Somebody told me that, and they've reported this before, that the police could really get a lot of people with tickets out there. Right past Emerald Road on Midvale, they pass in the middle, they pass on the right-hand side, and it happens every day. I've been out there and they've passed. And just put me as a volunteer policeman. I'll get them. And that's all I have to say.
Well, if they're passing you, you're not driving fast enough.
Oh, I guess. But you know what? I'd be the one to get the ticket.
All right, thank you, Counselor. Counselor Frausto.
Nothing different to report other than the ribbon cutting. It was really nice to see some markets out there and people in community. And also the feedback that we get from some of these local vendors of how hard the processes are to actually get permitting. So I know Councilor Hart asked for a meeting to talk about the processes and how we can reevaluate them and just make them that much better and stronger here in our community. So I'm looking forward to that conversation and sharing the feedback that I got from Mr. Chavez himself. And Sandra Cesati just left the room, but I'm just really thrilled that we actually have quorum now for the Art Commission. I think that there is so much talent in our community and not very many people are stepping up to form part of these boards, commissions, committees. And I really just encourage the community to keep looking for these vacancies when they're available and incorporate yourself into city governance and be a part of this work. I'm really thrilled to see how we're going to be able to express ourselves and all the work that's going to come out of this art commission. And I believe Julia spearheads that. So just
Yay.
really thrilled.
Me too.
All right, thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, just want to echo Councilor Vasquez and thank you to the chief for walking around the businesses downtown. And even though we all know it's coming, I know a lot of people, later on like to say, oh, we didn't know that they were going to shut down the roads. But, you coming around with a flyer, really appreciate that. Showing face to the business owners. There was at least one of my employees that didn't know who the chief was. And he's like, oh, that's the chief. So, yeah, getting your face out there, I really appreciate that. That's all I got.
Counselor Hart.
I just want to say one little just reference to the Lions Club's anniversary. The warm-up project that Ms. Vasquez was referring to was actually started by my late daughter, Sarah Hart, when she was president of the Lions Club. And we have continued it. And this year we are expanding it to Chief Kamaikan, thanks to one of our new Lions members. So I just wanted to say that. I also just wanted to note that the police are trying to track down those guys on those little motorized bicycles that make so much noise. They came through not the parking lot, but the lawn behind where I live. And pretty soon I saw a couple of uniformed officers because there was no outlet for these guys. So I'm hoping they caught him. But they were on, as Miss Ripley was saying, the guys were on the job. And we just want to commend them for all the hard work and some of the bizarre things that they get to do. But thank you for your service, all the first responders. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So for me, I also attended the Victory City Church ribbon cutting, but I also spent the day with them. So I went to their 11 a.m. worship service. And as was mentioned, they are an energetic bunch. They do praise, they do worship, they do their steps, everything. I mean, they're constantly in motion. I have never seen anybody moving as much as that pastor. And what was equally entertaining is the girl that was interpreting was moving right alongside the pastor. She was really into it, and it was just amazing to watch. And she was very skilled. But that church, those of you who have been around for a long time know the Episcopal Church, and you've been in there a few times. They have really freshened it up. They painted. They put new carpet in the sanctuary section, and they've really done a nice job with it. And Sunnyside at one time was known as the Holy City, right? I think there was an old map one time where the city of Sunnyside had a halo over it. And so supporting these churches and seeing these groups come in, it's kind of encouraging. They're an enthusiastic bunch. I'd encourage you to visit. If you like a lively worship service, that is the place to go. The second one, Councilor Frausto mentioned the difficulty in applications for these mobile food vendors, and was shared with me recently. by her, some of the struggles that they go through, just filling out forms for L&I and getting all of that done correctly. We could offer courses on it. Somebody could offer courses on that because these poor folks have got to go through so much in order to get their permits. I think a lot of times the reason they don't get their permits is because it's so incredibly difficult for them to fill out all of these pages and pages of forms. And sometimes as a native English speaker, I struggle to understand what they're saying. And some of these folks are really struggling with their English and perhaps relying on a third grader to help them with their English. It doesn't make it any easier. So I really love to see if we could find somebody who would be willing to step up and help out and give them some instruction on how to do that. I know Counselor Vasquez has mentioned that she has given some help before and is willing to do that. But it would really be good for these folks to be able to get everything done appropriately and in a way that they can understand. So that really has been a concern to me. I've been chewing on that one ever since I heard that. It's just very concerning to me. And then finally, I've been getting phone calls from people wanting to know who to contact for the implement parade. Organizations, groups want to put in applications to be part of that. Is there a website? Is it on the city website? Can we link to it? I would love to know who that is, and I see you guys waving your.
Monica, go up to
Why don't you go up to the microphone, Monica?
Britt, go with her.
Yeah, you started talking, now you have to go.
But Britt, it's my knowledge, and Britt, correct me, we did get access to the Facebook page that the Rotary had started. We didn't want to start a new one. We asked if we could have that just to keep it easier, and so they graciously did give that to us. Then on the forms, Jackie is on top of it, and I emailed her today asking about the whole process and the permit process, and then she asked about the forms, and I was asking the group about that also, and we're putting those together, so we should have something up shortly, and we're keeping Jackie informed. We gave her, I believe, did we give you the logos and the images? I know we gave it to the entertainer, Jackie. Do you still need that kind of stuff?
No, we
Or
already
what
have
we
your
just
your logo, and we've created some graphics.
Some graphic, yeah, you guys did, and then we did as well, so I guess
Okay.
it's in the process, but yeah, we'll have those up and we'll let them know.
And just,
Okay.
just to add to that just a little
done.
bit, Carter Killian, as you know, is heading this program, which is great. We're bringing it back to the farmers. We have a lot of farmer involvement. A lot of donations are coming in. We're looking at doing scholarships for FFA and 4-H in the future. Lots of really great programs for kids and young farmers. So you'll start to see the ads coming up real quick for all of the farm implement things going on. And anyone who's doing any activities that weekend, I've reached out to a few people and we were able to put a few in the entertainer and into a few advertisements. But if you have something going on or know of something going on, let us know so we can add it to our list of things going on. So.
Okay, good. That's good to know. And we'll make sure that people know that information is going to show up on Facebook and the city webpage or the city Facebook page as well. So.
Just one last question too. We had not heard from Rotary. Does anyone know if they are doing anything downtown?
We haven't heard their final response, and I know I followed up with them a few weeks ago. They were supposed to talk to the board.
Okay.
I'll follow up
I
with
think
them
they had
again.
gotten some LTAC funds, but I thought that they had changed their mind at some point. So just wasn't sure about that. So
Yeah,
I'll
they,
check with you, Jackie.
okay, sounds good.
All right. And thank you for stepping up on that one because I was getting requests and information from people. So. Okay. Next item is upcoming council meetings, and that's Madam City Clerk.
So our next meeting is November 3rd. It's a study session, and you'll have a discussion topic of America's 250th anniversary of independence. See the Community and Economic Development Commission presentation on Roger Brooks, and then a discussion or presentation of the splash pad. And November 10th is a regular meeting. You'll have your second reading of the ad valorem and then adoption after. The dog breeding ordinance, Pacific Corp franchise agreement, and then the LGIP allocations.
Are we going to have the preliminary budget public hearing as well?
Yeah, she mentioned that first.
Did that? My brain just shut
Didn't get
right off
that.
right there. Okay.
I thought that was the Valorium.
Yeah, so this will be the first.
Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Okay. So if there's other items that need to be placed on the agenda, please make sure you talk to the clerk at least 1 week before the meeting date to make sure that that gets on. All right, city manager reports. Mr. City Manager.
Well, we've got our new LED stoplights down at their stop signs down at the corner of 9th and Edison. I assume they're working well. I haven't heard any metal crunching or horns honking too much lately out of my office, so. I know we've had requests for them to put elsewhere as well, and just so you know, that's about $8,000 an intersection for 4 of those lights, right? They're approximately $2,000 a piece. So if it was a two-way stop, they do, I believe, bring that attention that's necessary for the traffic to see, to make it a lot safer. Other than that, I met with the Capital Path Group, which is our consultants for lobbyists. Talked about some legislative priorities, talked about potential project funding we have for the projects we have out there. Got some follow-up meetings with those folks as well over the next, I think we're going to meet, I think every 2 weeks and talk about that. They would like, after the elections, to meet the new members or if there are any new members of the council, and introduce themselves and talk about what they do and how they work with the legislature and bring in funds. And I think that's about it. There was something else. Oh, I was going to say the mobile vendors. I know we've talked a lot about it and some of the difficulties. Well, one of the difficulties we are facing right now is the midnight or the nighttime mobile vendors. We have had a few instances of where they're dumping their grease down our storm drains. And that is not allowed. That could be a big fine to the city. And so I've instructed Mr. Mejia to meet with those folks and even the property owners. If the property owners are allowing those folks to park on their property, but they're going out and dumping the grease in the catch basin on or near that property, we are looking to fine people for that. We've notified them several times that this is not allowable, this is illegal, and so I don't think we've issued any fines yet, Mr. Mejia.
No, not yet.
That is a $1,000 fine if you get caught dumping your grease down a catch basin. So, we want those folks to be licensed. We want them to comply. That is not the proper location to dump your waste grease. So it's just one of those other areas that, people forget about. But it does have an impact on the environment. Chief Lehman.
All right, Mayor and Council. This Thursday, we have our 14th annual trunk or treat. It looks like we have about 50 plus trunks. So this is going to be by far our biggest event. It runs from 5:30 to 7:30. Today, which was mentioned, I went around, notified all the businesses downtown. I've been working on the jail rate study that has been talked about in front of council a couple of different times. We talked about hiring the FCS group. That's who did the ambulance rate study and a couple other studies. We had a signed contract with them about 7 months ago for $24,000. Somehow that study got stopped. I'm not sure who stopped it. Anyway, we've gone back to them and said, hey, we need to get this study going again. They just sent us a quote for $60,550. So I emailed them today and said, can you explain to me why this over doubled in cost? I haven't gotten a response yet. So just so we're all aware, we have not signed the new contract till we find out what's going on with that. The foundation has their Thanksgiving meal giveaway. Right now we have 200 meals committed. We have our Christmas meal giveaway. We have a church that we've partnered with last couple of years. They've committed $5,000 towards buying the meals. We have shop with a cop in December. And then my wife and I are working on add water meals that we can have officers have in their cars that they can pass out, because it sounds like a lot of the federal food programs may be on hold while the federal government's on hold. So we want something officers can give out to people. All they have to do is add water to make a meal. And I went to the boxing event on Saturday and it was very well attended and a lot of fun. So, yeah, thank you.
Don't have a whole lot other than I apologize for not getting my weekly reports out. I'll get them first thing in the morning. So I was gone last week, so trying to play catch up today. So,
We've started the biogas project out at the wastewater treatment plant. The pipes have been taken down. And then I've instructed our sewer to camera the new line that got put in from the emergency sewer pipe to make sure everything's okay. Working with code enforcement and fog, obviously, like Mr. Bridges said, we did have a couple of instances that food vendors dumped the grease down our storm drains. We did find them in properties that were not allowed for them, so we did ask them to get remove themselves because they were in the porch property. So we had to get them going. And then, obviously, like I stated before, met with Oscar and his wife, trying to get the soccer for the youth soccer to go at the community center. So, been working on all that on top of the ordinance with Mr. Taylor, and keeping up on everything else.
Question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
The RV dump station has been closed. Is that going to be reopened again anytime soon, or is that back up and functioning again?
That should be back up functioning. What had happened, it was never closed. What happened is the water has a frost freeze faucet. Someone forgot to disconnect it and drive away with it. So they were trying to take the water with them. But the dump was always open.
The dump was always open.
Yes. So.
Good enough. Thank you.
Hector, I have a question for you too.
Yes, ma'am.
The lot that I've been talking to you about, still hasn't been accomplished. No, and then not only that, but they dumped their clippings out there on the Yellowstone Trail.
Okay, I will look into that. I sent a open gun request to our code enforcement. I will check on that tomorrow.
Yeah, they didn't complete it.
Okay, I will make sure that gets completed tomorrow.
Yep, thank you.
Yes.
I have a couple of asks this evening. So in the search for an HR generalist, we pulled some resumes that we had on hand as well. And there was a person that had applied during the time that the gentleman sitting next to me applied. And Heath and I did an interview with her, and she was a pretty outstanding candidate. Has a lot of 10 years of government background in HR. So that's really important when you're working and looking for somebody with experiences that they have the government experience. The catch is this person was actually recruited to us prior through Astro Hire. And so due to the current contract with him, if we were to hire this person, then we would have to abide by the contract, and he would get a fee for hiring that person. So I did reach out to him, and in our conversation, he did say that a couple of things. He said that he would be willing to discount this rate for us because he does have an interest in continuing a relationship with the city, and he would like the opportunity to possibly have a new contract with the current administration, and is wanting to know if that would be an option, as well as he said he would gladly come to the city and have an open discussion in person. So right now, his normal fee is 25% of the annual wage of the person hired. So he was willing to bring it down to 21%, and that would give us a savings of $3,328. The total amount was actually underneath the amount that's allowed to be approved. It was under that 20,000 mark, but we thought that it was best if we brought it to council to ask you guys, just because of what how the relationship with Astro Hire began. We didn't want to move forward without asking council their opinion on this.
Council comments? Councilor Vasquez.
Question.
Yeah.
Who brought Astro Hire forth with the city of Sunnyside?
So he actually came forward because he previously worked with Kelly Koski and was here with her. And that's the relationship he have. I have emails kind of that went back and forth with somebody that worked here before. And he had that's how the relationship she had worked with him before and reached out to him for his services.
Okay.
And he I will say he's brought some pretty great people on. And you can ask Jafet, his IT people are great. Heath is awesome. So he's brought in really good candidates. He does a very good job. So I think that, that's important.
Counselor Hancock.
And that's what I was going to say. Our relationship with Astro Hire started out a little bit funky, but I do believe that Astro Hire has done a good job. It's just the way the contract was signed and things happened. But that's no fault of Astro Hires. That's an internal thing. So I do like the employees we've gotten through Astro Hire.
Okay, further comments? Counselor Hart, are you still with us? Do you want to comment on this?
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay. I think I would agree with my colleagues that, yeah, Astro Hire it wasn't really presented to council. It just kind of developed a working relationship with the city of Sunnyside, kind of under our radar, which is unusual to be the most generous that I can possibly be on that. But the quality of the hires that we've had through them have been exceptional. And so I would be in favor of, revisiting that and working with them in the future. I think that would be good. As far as looking at your HR generalist, I don't have a problem with that. He has indicated he's willing to discount for the city, which is good. That does come under or in below at what's budgeted for that position yet. So we're still under budget on that one, which is helpful. But if we can get quality people on board, I think that is an imperative for us. So that's my feeling on that. We don't have a vote on this one, but.
No, sorry.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I can agree. I mean, if we're looking to hire somebody, exceptional, like what we have now, we really don't want to miss out the opportunity. Like I said, during the finance committee, if we have that person there, I think we should definitely jump on it.
And that will lead me to my second ask, which is an even bigger one.
It's more of a consideration.
Yeah, it's a consideration. I'm going to be emailing out a proposal that I received from the CPA firm that I had reached out to a few firms and no one got back to me. So I have one proposal and I presented it already to the finance committee and we kind of discussed where it's at. There's different phases to it and it's pretty in depth. So I'm going to be sending that out for everybody to take a look at. Again, this can be something I can bring to a workshop for questions for them to answer for you guys. Right now, it's over $100,000 for the cleanup of 2024.
And so Monica's going to send out that scope of services that they've proposed. And then we would bring this back, I believe, on the next study session for a more formal consideration. And then the following week for action, if so desired. So.
That will
We
require some
definitely
serious
need to
reading.
do
Counsel-
something.
Yeah, Counselor Hancock.
Well, so, yeah, you're fine. So you didn't delineate for those of us that aren't on the finance committee very well about what you're talking about. You're talking about clearly cleaning up 2024.
Correct. And I'm going to email the proposal to everybody because it's pretty in depth. It's cleaning up 2024. It's going through all of the grants and right now we're supposed to be having single audits for federal grants and those haven't been done because the reports haven't been completed and they haven't been submitted. That can be a big problem in the future if those don't get done. And so the problem is we have to go through because I don't have any expense paperwork. I don't have any backup and I don't have any documentation for any of the ARPA funds that were provided to the city. So it's literally going line item to line item and trying to find what the money was spent on and where the budget's at for those ARPA funds. And so there's also other funds as well.
Counselor Hancock.
So if we're going to look at this proposal, where in the budget can we get the money from to do this?
Well, we're gonna be having some savings with the increase of the stormwater. So I would move the funds that we're gonna be moving back into the general fund to fund this project.
Is that a proper use of stormwater money?
No, the
Not
general
Okay.
fund.
Okay.
The general fund was funding
Okay, I
stormwater,
see.
and-
Okay.
And with the new rates, we won't have to fund
Okay.
stormwater anymore. We can keep our money. And so I would just use that, I would allocate those funds to be able to cover this project.
Okay. And Jim, we're taking our stormwater and we're just getting back our costs of stormwater in our fees, not above the cost of the stormwater program?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Minimal program.
Right.
Okay, that's Counselor Hart.
I was gonna say, you say that to hire, and so far you haven't got anybody to take the hook. $100,000 to do what, an audit?
No, they would actually go through and clean up, reconcile all of 2024. They would file the ACFR for us. They would also go through and do all the single auditing, look for all the grant funds and clean up all the grant funds. Plus they would propose any kind of like items that needed really to be looked at a little more in depth. They do forensic auditing as well. So they would go through all of 24 and do a forensic audit on there.
And we've talked about this $100,000 for a forensic audit and other at various times. I'm just wondering if I know it's a necessity. I'm wondering if you can get it a little cheaper.
That's why I wanted to send it out, because it is phases. And I think there's parts that don't need to be included. And then there's other parts that there's like upfront, it is $20,000 for the first phase. And then after that, it's going to be dependent on what they find and how they move through things. So the cost can go upwards of more than $170,000, or it could be 150. It's just depending on what happens once they start opening everything up and looking at it. And that's kind of where it's going to be at. I think it's good. I want to be able to give you guys all the proposals so that you can really take a look at it, because there is a lot that it entails.
Okay.
Counselor Hancock.
My next question is, wasn't that what we hired Morlett to do? Was the 2024 cleaning up of 2024?
I believe he was just supposed to just do the reconciliation of the bank accounts, is my understanding.
I would agree with that. I think that's what he was.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know this is way more extensive, but what did we spend on Marlette? Do you remember?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it was around 10,000, I think.
I think it's more than that.
It was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like
Because
to
his
know.
first contract expired and his second contract came into effect. So we'll get that number to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it should be nice to know. Thank you.
All right. Have you got more?
That's.
You got a lot.
That's plenty.
Seems like a lot.
To chew on, so.
I don't want to.
All right, we'll continue on. Heath?
I do have a very small ask, not quite as large as Hofstadter over here. But I currently do not have the Society of Human Resource Management certificate. I am asking you guys to allow me to get that, to help further myself in the human resource area here. For starters, with the membership, the 1 year is $300, 2-year membership is $269, and the 3-year is $254
Per year.
Per
per
year.
year.
Yeah.
With that, The study materials, it would be $1,330. And then the exam would be $595. You can add about $300 to all of those if the membership is not granted. Now with the test, I would front the almost $600 up front, but I would ask to be reimbursed upon completion of the exam. Having the certificate would allow me to be a better human resource for the staff with the city. I feel that I'm doing a pretty good job, but having this certificate would just enhance my abilities even more and be there, provide more guidance for the employees. So that being said, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Council comments? Questions?
Well, I would just like to say that if we forward that money forward to allow this, we have some kind of agreement that if he doesn't stay for a year or 2 years or whatever council decides, that he owes us that money back, because now he's advancing his career on the city's money, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm just saying, to protect the city, we need to have a reimbursement kind of agreement.
And 100%, I would sign a 5-year contract if need be, to just so you guys will believe in me.
Oh, I believe in you already, but yeah, that would be good.
Further comments, questions? Deputy Mayor.
Anything to improve, your position and experience that you could bring to the staff is definitely appreciated. So you have my support.
But one thing for sure, HR regulations and laws change regularly, so we need definitely to stay up with that, so.
Yeah, and we fund other people's continuing education and training as well. And we do that for the benefit of the city. We do that for the benefit of our staff. So I think it is imperative that we keep our staff members as well-trained as possible and up to date on the laws and procedures and all that stuff that goes on. So I think, yeah, you're not at all out of line. You're definitely, right on track with what you should be doing. And well, if you're willing to sign a long-term contract to guarantee the refund on that one, I'm totally behind that too. So yeah, carry on, blaze forward.
I will say that I did the SHRM, and he might regret asking for that.
Mr. Silva.
I don't have much to report this week. Just, what was it? We're working on a IT policy. What we have out there is pretty outdated. I was hoping to be a little bit further along, but on that before we brought it up. But we are working on getting that updated and with getting out all the outdated terms and technologies out of what we currently have out there. So other than that, just our day-to-day, keeping the lights on and keeping everybody working.
Jafet, real quick, didn't you put a camera down at the RV dump?
Not yet. We're trying we're getting quotes for that. We're looking at a few options, but there's going to be hopefully a couple of cameras going up at the wastewater plant.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor?
Go ahead.
Quick question, Jafet. I know we change our passwords every 3 months, and it's for some, it could be a little bit easier than others. Is that something, a policy at a city level or a state level, or?
It's really a requirement from all over the place, really, depending on what department you're in. But what pushes it for the entire city is our insurance.
Gotcha.
The higher our security standards are, the lower our rates. So we do an audit every year that asks us all kinds of questions, what we do to keep the city's network secure. The more those points you hit, the lower your so I tell people sometimes it feels like staff feels like we're just sitting around thinking of ways to ruin their day. And it really isn't. It is just standard across, government agencies. That is where standards are these days to try and protect our systems. So they're pretty much in line for
for, most government agencies. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. See, and I have personal feelings on that one. I believe there's cameras on all the stoplights and you see me coming and you flip them to red right away and you make me change my password every 3 days instead of 3 months. But, anyway, Madam City Clerk.
I am just working on records requests, trying to keep agreements and everything in line, get them indexed. That's what I'm focusing on right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, thank you, everybody. It is, it's always good for us to hear what you are all doing, and you're always doing much more than I think that we believe you're doing on the surface. There's a lot going on in the city, and we thank you for that. All right, the executive session that's on the agenda is just a placeholder. We do not have anything planned for this evening, so without any further business to come before the city, and if there's no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next Monday night.